Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
All right, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced a substantial reward package for the Super Falcons that entails a $100,000 cash payment, a national honor, and a 3-bed house for each player. Now, in recognition of their performance, of course, as they at the just concluded, what I call it WAFCON. Now, the move, while applauded by many, as a long overdue recognition of women's football in Nigeria and the football team as well, and their contribution to national pride. It has also stirred public debate. Critics argue that such grand gesture may be politically motivated, aimed at swaying public opinions and diverting attention from pressing national issues such as the economic hardship, insecurity, the continuous strikes by different, workers, federal workers, and of course, policy dissatisfaction. As Nigerians react to this development, the key question arises: is Tinubu's gift to the Super Eagle a well-deserved reward for sporting excellence, or a calculated political move designed to win hearts and headlines? It's another beautiful episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name remains Usayiwa Mesale, and today's discussion focuses on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's gift to the Super Falcons, and we're asking a well-deserved reward or a politically motivated gesture. Now, remember, Ways is all about you. You are the wine way, so be a part of the conversation every single day by adding your voice to the discussion. You can also head onto our YouTube channel as displayed on the screen at Official Upgrade TV. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, and invite families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, when I open the phone lines, I really love to hear your thoughts on this. Please, no insults. Let me just say it ahead of time. There's no need to call names or whatever. Just state your opinion and just, be very constructive with your criticism. So as always, let me allow you to ponder on my quote for the day. It says, your victory represents more than the sport accomplishment. It is a triumph of courage, determination, discipline, and consistency. And that was from the president himself, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, we'll delve into this much later, but first, let me go off this short break. When I come back, I'll let you in on what I found as my news interests for the day. Stay with me. Oh, okay. Hope not lost, on Chibok, on remaining Chibok girls and Leah Shaibu, and that's what the federal government has reiterated its commitment to securing the release of the remaining abducted Chibok girls. and Leah Shaibu, assuring Nigerians that the girls have not been forgotten despite the passage of time. A total of 276 girls were abducted by Boko Haram from the government girls' secondary school in Chibok, Borno State. And of course, on April 14th, 2014, 11 years later, 87 girls are still missing, believed to be in captivity, and Major General Adamu Laka stated that while some of the kidnapped girls have been rescued over the years, efforts to free the remaining ones have not relented. We haven't given up hope on them. Some of them were married to some of the insurgents. Some have come out, but let our focus not only be on the Chibok girls. There are others that have been kidnapped, and of course other aid workers, Nigerians, who have also been kidnapped. So we've rescued some that are also working with the UNICEF. So that's quite assuring. I'll move on to my next story. I'm going to dwell a bit on this because I think I touched it when it happened in Plateau State. Now, the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, on Tuesday announced, again, a 1 billion naira donation from the Renewed Hope Initiative to support families displaced by the deadly attack on Yelawata community in Benue State. She made the announcement during a condolence visit to the state at the new banquet hall of Benue State Government House. According to the First Lady, the intervention is aimed at helping affected families rebuild their lives. Senator Oluremi Tinubu expressed deep sorrow over the killings, describing the situation as heartbreaking. I don't think I will pass the opportunity to reiterate what I said when our First Lady went to Bauchi State to donate money to, the Bauchi State government. Again, there are so many things that are just running through my head. But I'd like to say that can we be a bit more constructive with how we approach, AIDS or whatever it is that we want to do in communities like this. First of all, how did we arrive at 1 billion naira in terms of, okay, what will it do and all of that? Because again, you first of all need to assess the real situation. What are the real needs there? What do they want? What are the things that would, make sense to them? And if we have established all of that, how do we put a cost to all the things that needs to be done? Then you then know that, okay, you know what? My capacity, I have given out 1 billion naira, but I believe that Benue State needs about 10 billion to rebuild. So can we call on other meaningful Nigerians to please join hands and all of that? Then call a credible, company. I don't want to call committee because every time in Nigeria it's always committee. A credible, company with integrity, and say, okay, what would it what would it cost to rebuild maybe 3 rooms, bungalow per family and all of that? So we would need probably 100 units of houses for the ones that were lost. We'll need this for this, we'll need this for that. That is how, it should be done. So I don't want us to keep on throwing money at things. Money is great, money is important, money is good. But beyond the money, do you even understand the real challenges of what people are going through? Are you aware that some people are not able to go to their farmlands? Are you aware about all of these things? So, yes, I like it. It's a big figure, 1 billion naira and all of that. But beyond that, will that really solve the problem? Because I think the ultimate goal, this is me thinking in my small head, should be that we want to solve a problem, right? So is this the solution? So it's the same thing I said when it happened in Plateau, that the First Lady went and dropped money there. I'll move on to my next story. I'll leave it there. Some Ghanaians have protested against Nigerians for allegedly engaging in mass prostitution and ritual killings in their country. The protesters, in their large numbers, were seen wielding placards with various inscriptions such as "Armed robbery and violent attack must stop. Our health at stake due to mass prostitution." It says, who protects the rights and freedom of Ghanaians? Speaking in a video, a lady in her mid-30s said Nigerians must go because of their anyhowness in their country. Recall that a similar occurrence popularly christened Ghana Must Go happened in 1983 when Nigerian government under the then President Shehu Shagari also enacted a directive ordering about 2 million undocumented immigrants, many of whom were Ghanaians, to leave their country. So, I mean, this is how many years later they are also telling us to also leave their country. How interesting. All right, so I'll move on to taking a break. When I come back from the break, I want to discuss the Super Falcons and what is going on, and the $100,000 per player. You know, I like the move, bold moves. But we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
On one hand, the Super Falcons demonstrated remarkable skills, discipline, and patriotism, representing Nigeria with a pride on a global stage. So the reward given to them by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which of course includes the $100,000 cash, national honors, and a house, is well deserved. In a country where women's sport, of course, often receive less support and recognition, such a gesture can be seen as a long overdue that is needed and meaningful encouragement, not just for the Falcons, but for every young female sporting professional across Nigeria. Rewarding excellence sets a precedent that hard work and success will not go unnoticed. However, on the other hand, the scale and timing of the gift raises a lot of questions, coming at a time when many Nigerians rather, are grappling with economic hardship, so many things, like people going on strike, nurses going on strike, and all of that is going on in the country. The gesture may be interpreted as a distraction from pressing governance issues or insensitive to the hardworking professionals impacting lives in Nigeria. Furthermore, the political undertone becomes more apparent when similar or better performances by previous administrations were met with less public generosity. So at the intersection of this genuine recognition and reward lies questions on political intentions, as it's common knowledge that everything is political. So joining me to discuss this the topic, right? Tinubu's gift to the Super Eagles is Toyosi Afolayan. He's a sports journalist, and of course I have Mighty George. He's also a sports journalist. Yeah. Thank you, Toyosi, for joining me.
Yeah, good
You're
evening.
Toyosi, I believe.
Yeah,
I just assumed.
Yeah, I'm Toyosi.
How are you?
I'm very
Okay,
good.
so tell me, when you saw, I think George is on Zoom. I'm not sure if he's there yet. George, confirm if you're there. Hi, George. Okay, so I'm thinking George should be on his way. Okay, so when you, first of all, congratulations again to the Super Falcons, because when people talk like this, they think it's a hater matter. It's not a hater matter. It's because it's a lot of things that have happened over the years, and I think when things like this happen, I just believe it's a teachable moment and an opportunity for us to be able to also bring something like a larger problem, that we're faced with in the society, and just use that opportunity to draw the conversation. But I want to hear your thoughts, right? When you heard that the government president was offering $100,000 cash and 3-bedroom house and a national honors to the Super Falcons, what came to your mind?
I felt that it was something long overdue. This
Yeah.
is the first time in the history of women's football in Nigeria that they will be honored. The men have been honored. 1996, 1994 sets of the Super Eagles have been honored. In 2013, they were honored by Jonathan. In 2024, they were honored by this same government, that is President Tinubu. But now, the ladies have won WAFCON 9 times. They were not given anything. They've been to the World Cup. They were not given anything. No honor, no cash rewards. But this time around, it is something very, very good to see that Nigerians can see that football, female football is getting recognized. You might raise your eyebrows saying, how much do we have in our purse as regards the government funds or anything? But $100,000, it's not far-fetched. The men who did not win the AFCON last year in Ivory Coast, they got something, they got MON, they got lands, and they got so many things. But the girls, they won theirs. They did Mission X.
Wait, you know why I'm raising my eyebrows? It's not the money.
It's what?
You said 9 times.
Yeah.
They've not given them anything.
Yeah. This is the first time they are getting recognition.
Wow.
Okay, so the thing is, the money you get from the competition is different. The money the government gives you is different. So this one that they are giving him is like a gift. It's not like it is compulsory. So it's a gift. The reason why they are basically giving them is because the guys have been getting for a very long time. 1994, I mentioned, 96, remember 2013. And then also,
Even when they are not winning anything.
yeah, even when they don't win, maybe when they get second. Last year, the men didn't win anything. They go to the to final and lost Ivory Coast. So,
They still got something.
they still got something. But now the ladies,
And the ladies have been bringing the cup back to back.
Yes,
And they had not been getting anything.
there have been talks about equal pay and all of that, but football is beyond.
No, football, around
Whoever is
equal
winning.
pay in football
It's not gonna
globally
happen.
is not going to happen. Because
Definitely.
even in the US, the female football team, they are complaining
Yeah.
that they are delivering and yet they are not giving
So
them.
the financial package has to also be balanced. What you're bringing me, regardless of.
So is it that male teams are they generate more income than female
Yes,
team?
a lot. Like
Okay.
the disparity is so much. I might be bringing in 100 million as the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and then the girls are bringing me like 20 million. Look at how much. But the boys themselves might not win anything, but they'll still generate more money than the ladies.
Because they are able to attract the attention,
Sponsors and everything.
sponsorship
Yeah.
and all that. Oh, I see. Do we have George now? Can barely hear you. George, are you there? Okay. If you're talking, George, I hear you're muted. Hello? Okay, while we're trying to have George come on, because I wanted to hear his own 2 cents. So you are saying that this is well deserved, it's not a political move?
Not at all.
No, because people have argued that this is going to be inside President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2 years achievement. It's going to be inside his manifesto.
If you do something, it's definitely going to be in your
Yeah.
what do you call it?
Your resume,
report. Yeah.
yes.
So it's normal. First time in Nigerian government to be honoring the ladies, with an honor and with different times they've done giving individuals. Like Oshwala had some before, some had different titles, but collectively as a team, giving everybody OON. That's even bigger than what the men got last year. The men got MON. So OON is bigger than, MON.
Okay, Dabe, I want to go on. I said it today that I used to play football that year.
Yeah.
So let me just go and fix my knee.
It's finished. It's finished for real.
I work on it. But here we have George now. George, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Good evening.
Okay, now I can hear you. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, George, quickly, I want to hear your own 2 cents now before I now go into the conversation. So when you read about the announcement or you watched it, I don't know how you first saw it, that the president was honoring the girls with $100,000 each, a 3-bedroom house, and of course the National Honorary Award. What came to your mind?
Well, I think that the president, was just in a very good mood because no player from the men's team has ever gotten an ON. By the way, an ON is higher, a notch higher than an MON, which is usually the case. I think that probably Mrs. First Lady also had an influence in this. He joked about him being in the kitchen and watching the game and all of that. And I feel that the girls are really, really lucky. They've never had it this good. 150 million naira each is something that we definitely must clap, to. But again, people will tell you, doling out a total of 4.4 billion. That could be enough to fix up roads and do all of that. But you think that's the thing about Nigerians. You give them probably 10 million naira each and they say, how much is 10 million? Now the president raises it up to 150 million naira each equivalent, and people are complaining about that. But I think that the manner in which the girls had this victory, the comeback victory, going from 2 goals down, and just showing that Nigerian spirit, I think it leaves a much to be desired and to be appreciated as well. So kudos to Mr. President, and kudos to the girls, for being this lucky. I call it lucky. But I think that the president has also stepped up the bar, because if the Super Eagles go on to win the AFCON in December, January, then fingers will be crossed about what they're going to give. But
I was just coming there because they say problem day now. He said because the Tigers, what they call those, the basketballers,
yeah.
they are about to win cup too. Yeah. So what is good for the goose is good for the gander. We have to they speak the English. So because the thing is that he has set a precedent. I mean, I think it's an amazing thing to do. But the thing is, the problem is how sustainable is it, right? I mean, because globally, I said it, anywhere in the world, football is one of the things that makes you become a billionaire overnight. Go and check all your favorites that play, all of a sudden, that real grass to grace story, it does happen with sports, especially football and, basketball. So, I mean, so it's a natural thing for it to happen. It's a good thing. But you see, this is where the concerns are happening around, priority. What are we prioritizing in the country? Then also, can it be sustained? Because it's not only this team that is doing well. Yeah. The Tigers are coming, and they would probably, this would motivate them to want to bring the cup home as well. Then, of course, maybe this can also motivate your people, even though I don't believe in them anymore. They've given me too much high blood pressure.
No, don't worry.
I don't want anything before I hear E, I don't run. Super Eagles, I run away.
We're doing it again December, January, trust me.
You sure?
Definitely.
Okay, it's all right. So, I mean, so how sustainable is that? I'll come to you then. I'll come back to George. How sustainable is this precedent that the president has set?
Well, there is always a provision for things like this. I think intentionality matters. Because the president has gone a bit higher than what other people used to do, that is why we're maybe looking at, can they sustain? But how many teams do they want to give? For example, the Tigers have won 4 times on the trot. That's the FIBA Afro Championship. They've not been given anything. No title, no extra motivation. But now if they win 5th on the trot, of course, there should be something. It might not be up to the footballers, but they need to get something. Even if it's the MON, they need to get, because they've done well enough to do something. And it is not just on the African scene that they've been performing. They've been performing in the FIBA World Cup, at the Olympics, they've been good. So we need to also, give them. And I saw somebody on Twitter earlier saying that how can they sustain it, because there are some individuals that are also performing.
I was just going to talk about the Paralympians,
yes.
And the, what's her name, Amusan, the athletes.
Yeah, the thing is, not everybody will get, but the notable...
But that is now where me and I have a problem. Because if you want to do something, don't do it because it should be a standard.
I know it's a standard, yeah, but not everybody will get. And, it depends on how huge your achievement is before you can get something.
George, help me. I don't understand how huge you want to be huger than Toby Amusa.
Sometimes these rewards are spur of the moment based on what they whisper to the president and all of that. Sometimes, like you said, there are standards. Like I think in the UK and other countries, especially when you go to the Olympic Games, there is a certain mark or a certain prize money you get for winning a gold medal and all of that.
Yes, from the government.
Yes, there is a standard. But, it doesn't come bigger than football. For football, it could be anything. But now that the president has done this, look at some of the players that are from Imo State. They're already with their governor today. And you can imagine what he has done as well. So Imo State, they're already with their governor today. And you can imagine what he has done as well. So football comes with a lot.
So I get you, George, and which is great, because we're doing amazingly well, right? Can we not becomes that anybody that comes worthy of praises and that recognizes us as a country that we're doing well, this becomes the blueprint to say, okay, this is what we must give these people, and see if this will not change the trajectory of sport in Nigeria.
Well, I understand what you're saying in terms of audio promises. I remember it was under Buhari that the 1994 set of the Super Eagles, they got the 3-bedroom flats that they were promised so many years ago. And if you now look at that, the standard of those houses now, you would be surprised that it is not even something of modern day. So I think what we need to do as a country is that we, of course, are going to bring these promises to reality. The $100,000 each, are we bringing it to reality soon? Or is it just to score cheap points ahead of the next election or anything? But when it comes to rewarding, there should not be any benchmark for me. There should not be benchmark. Whatever the president wants to give, or any governor wants to give, they should give. Look at some governors have given money yesterday. Even members of the Super Eagles, they've donated about 30 million naira to the girls.
No, you don't get the point. You don't get my point. My point is that it's not like they shouldn't. You can always give what you want to give. I'm saying that it should become a law that nobody should bring a medal back. Look at what you said. I'm saying it based on what you said. Nobody should bring a medal back, and you don't even recognize that person.
Okay,
that is the height of I don't know what to call it. But George, let me hear your thoughts on my own arguments.
Yeah, it's making a lot of sense, and it should be not just sports. Maybe I try to be selfish a bit. I recently won the Guinness World Record for the longest radio show. I've not gotten a call from the president or from the presidency or anything. So I think that anyone who obviously brings glory to the country, whether it's through your individual achievement or team achievement, there should be a standard. But the amount is what I don't agree. There should be compensation, especially as they are youths. Especially as they have needs. Everyone has needs, but how do you encourage the youth of the country if you do not reward them? So there should be a monetary policy, but more importantly, I laugh because we are a competition country. When it comes to sports development, all we know and all we celebrate is when we go to competitions. But there is the work that goes in.
God will bless
How much development of sports at the grassroots? What is a 4-year plan? For instance, these girls had just a couple of friendlies. They played Cameroon, they played Ghana and played Portugal, and that was it. And they went into the tournament and won. So it's almost like Nigeria knows how to thrive in competition. But
No, the reason they even won, George, is because most of them are international players. Don't forget, oh. Do you understand?
course.
A lot of the people that are doing well, apart from the para-Olympians in sports in Nigeria, a lot of the majority of the people that are doing well, Tigers, they are not in Nigeria. Oh. They are not in Nigeria. So they have where they have constant training and training and retraining. They have their coaches and all of that. And these are the things that I'm saying that just for me it's just, let's not be throwing money. There are so many things that can happen in sport development in this country beyond just giving honorary awards, giving houses and giving money. But I wanted to touch on something, George. I'll sorry I caught you, but I'll come back to you to continue. It was Rugged Man that posted, and I think I told them to cut this picture. He put the first picture. It says Tinubu confers Falcons with national honors, $100,000, and of course 3 houses. Then after that, there was another picture, right? It says after her win, she was appointed promised a house rather by the state government at the time, but it took 25 years before she finally received the 3-bedroom apartment. This was what's her name? The Mary Oyali. Then after 31 years, federal government hands over houses to 1994 Super Eagles heroes.
Yeah.
Come on. George, talk to me about this and I'll come back to you, Toyosi.
I think my colleague said it already. It was just recently that those promises came to fruition. But I think in this age, where lots of people are screaming about, in fact, immediately the president announced this, you see what you posted there, many people came out and said, it's not about the pronouncements, it needs to be actualized. So I think that the machinery of governments now already know that there's a lot expected of them to fulfill these promises, especially the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, who obviously had whispered things like this in the ears of the president and also the NFF. I don't think they're going to sleep on it. I'm being optimistic that it will not get up to 25 years or 31 years. That's going to be crazy. This is social media age.
No. You know that there's 2027 around the corner, George. If we try
And the 1994 squad, they didn't have social media then. They didn't have people they could, help them rant and makes a lot of noise. But these girls, Michelle Alozie can go to social media and say, well, they haven't given us our houses. Even before this tournament, they granted interviews where they slammed the NFF and slammed, the government for not paying them their bonuses for many years, up to over 24 months. They were not paid for matches they were played in. And I think that also contributed to the fact that the federal government had to release monies before they played that game. But it's not something we should be celebrating because it's their due. When we can pay players as and when due, the allowances promised to them, things will be better. We will not have to go on, social media and rant like that. But trust me, I'm very, very confident that these guys will be put on their toes and these things will be actualized. The one that I know will not come immediately or almost immediately is the Renewed Hope Estate, which the president said they are still building. So we don't know when they will finish building it. Maybe before 2027 or maybe during the second term of the president. But
they didn't need to do Renewed Hope Estate now. MFLA had 770 something houses.
That's different entirely.
They should have just given them one each and we'll be good. At least they would have gotten their houses. But let's go on a short break. I want to come back to you, Toyosi. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Staying tuned now. If you just tuned in, today's discussion focuses on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's gift to the Super Falcons. And I'll say that is a well-deserved reward, right? But, you know, we are still also asking, do you think he's politically motivated? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also call our phone lines. The numbers to call is 07025007749 or 07014242420. Let's hear what you have to say. You can also leave us a comment on our YouTube links. Yeah. So I'm with Toyosi, and of course I have George via Zoom. Oh yeah, Toyosi, tell me. Audio promises. Because this is what a lot of people are talking about. That come, all these things that this man is promising. Make it not be say he go enter audio. So I was in an airport lounge with, I will not mention her, but she's also a record breaker. Breaker. She has broken a lot of records for us. And she said something that her state governor promised her one thing. See, as they talk to you now, I said maybe they will call me tomorrow and give me. I have not gotten it. And these are the things that we get all the time. So why do you need to make a promise if you are not ready to fulfill it? Do you see the president fulfilling this, you know?
Well, when it comes to promise and fail, it's not just the government alone. 2016, when Nigeria won bronze at the Olympics, I don't want to mention one certain rich man that we know, one of the best in Africa, is Nigerian, promised the boys money. Till now, he hasn't fulfilled that.
Audio.
He's not a politician. He's a businessman in Nigeria, yeah. Everybody knows it's very popular. He promised them since 2016. That's over 9 years now. He hasn't given them the money. So I think most of these players that they promise money, they are well to do. So they just let it go like, if you give me, if you don't give me, I go do all right. But this one, I am very, very certain that before election comes in 2027.
Hey, you don't hit him. I was waiting there.
Before election
that
comes
means
in
it's politically motivated.
No, I'm just saying basically, before election comes in 2027, you will see that the money, the houses, just like George said, the houses might not come because they may say it's under construction. But the money, Super Eagles players have promised them everything they've made will definitely come before 20. It might be next year, it might not be now, but that audio promise will not be there this time around.
You think so? You're sure?
I'm 100%
George,
sure.
do you agree?
An NFL board member, he was there in the, the State House when that was mentioned. And he said immediately that announcement was made that the NFF, executive head of finance was already in talks with the, officials from the State House. So they already know that. Look, let me tell you, was it not just which day that the First Lady donated 1 billion to a community?
Yeah.
There's cash, there's money. This is 4.4 billion. You'd be surprised that those ladies would have that money in their accounts in the next 48, 72 hours. But it's just that it will have obviously go through the Ministry of Finance. This is, of course, has to go through the bureaucratic bottlenecks. But the money is there. I think it is there because they already had started asking them for account details and all of that. And with the way those girls were singing, our Papa Bidi, so you think that President Tinubu is going to mess up on that one?
Okay, so George and Toyosi, let's touch on a little bit on one thing that is very obvious. I was watching the WAFCON and I saw that they say for the people that go home with the trophy, they go back home with $1 million as their prize money. So what happens to the prize money that they always win when they come back with this cup? Have we had instances of them also complaining that they've not gotten their payments? Was that what you were talking about, the backlog, or is it something different?
Well, the backlog is different. For example, now when you come play a football match, there's what we call match bonus. There is a certain amount you get for being in camp, one. Another amount you get to play a game. Maybe if you win, you draw, you lose, there are certain amounts. And going into a tournament, the players would have had meeting with the NFF or maybe their own national board with that. This is the amount they're going to get paid if they win. Like percentages, it's not like the $1 million is going to be paid to players alone because there are so many bills that the NFF also have to cater for, like the coaches, the technical crew, the media officer, and all of that thing. So there's a percentage that goes to the players and all of that thing. Everybody receives same money in terms of the players, even if you played just 1 minute, same amount of money. But there's a percentage that goes to the players. It is not, and I'm very sure that when a age whereby, as long as CAF pays that money, the players will receive their money. During the Olympics, during the World Cup, the players received their money as a Wendy because the money was being paid into their personal accounts, not just the NFF account. But for this one, they've done Mission X. The money is $1 million. Players receive their money. They are Vanity Bank.
You are sure?
Yeah.
George, do you agree with that?
That's a very good question you asked, because that's been one of the issues. What the NFF does with monies, FIFA monies, CAF monies. I can tell you for a fact that the last NFF received about over $2 million annually. It's called development grants for building of stadia and sports facilities. Unfortunately, we don't see that being implemented. Like Toyosi said, that prize money would be at the discretion of the NFL. They would divide it at their discretion, because they will tell you, we hoped on that prize money for us to even pay for your camping in Portugal, to go and play that, to pay this participation fee, to fly you down here. So the prize money is for the whole team, and it's usually domiciled with the NFL. But the NFL must give the players a percentage. And just as he rightly said, there's usually discussions. There are money discussions. The captain will be there. Sometimes some of the other players will be there as well to discuss how this is going to be. That's how it's done in very sane plans. Unfortunately, we had NFF administrations in the past who didn't really care about what the players thought about the money that were coming to them. But now, and also in the past, what we had was that, especially during Ahmad Pinnick's time, government funding came when it was supposed to come. It sometimes never even came at all. They had a very stubborn minister at that time, Solomon Dalong, who never, channeled money for sports into the NFF, always insisting that the NFF has a lot of sponsors already. You have the big brands, the alcoholic beverages, the one oil company as well. What are you using this money for? So governments, NFF hardly got money from government. They had to sometimes go cap in hand when the sponsors were not, forthcoming. And so the NFF really did not need to give account to government or give account to the Ministry of Sports. But now that we are seeing government support, of government support. Government cleared all their allowances and backlog for the last 24 months. That's like 2 years. Government is paying them. In fact, government was fully involved. But that's also a testament to the fact that this NFF, they're not really doing a lot when it comes to marketing. Well, with due respect to Alhaji Gusau, he's trying. It's not so easy. He's probably not a moves man like Ahmadu Pinnick. Ahmadu Pinnick was going everywhere, was getting lots of money from state governors and all of that. But this one is at the mercy of the federal government. So I think, one, there will be that synergy, there will be that accountability to government, and also the FIFA or the CAF development money, more questions need to be asked about that one. But the money comes, at the end of the day, is at the discretion of, NFF to see how they get to use it. So we hope that this NFF is going to be very accountable, more accountable than the last one who, with all due respect again, Ahmadu Pinnick, he did well in terms of marketing, but I don't think he owed the government any explanation and owed lots of people explanations. We didn't see the sheets, we didn't see the record books. All we knew was that the Super Eagles were turning up at events, the Super Eagles were being paid, but there was a lot of money still kept back, by officials. Happening here, I hope that we'll see a lot of transparency.
I was just good. So let me come back to you, Toyosi. Just piggyback from what George had talked about transparency. Because again, when you talk about, because what he was saying about sharing money and all of that, you know that there's a major oil company that supports AFCON and WAFCON and all of that, right? And I know that, you don't need to mention their name, but I know that they also, when it comes to issues around, covering flights and all of those things are pretty much taken care of. So what then guarantees the transparent, treatment with whatever income that comes as like an inflow how do we checkmate, or how do we balance, transparency and accountability within, the Nigerian Football Federation? Now, this is me talking from the standpoint of the conversation I had with this other athlete, how they, they kind of like try to want to pilfer from players' allowances and all of that, get monies here and there, and all of that. They do that. You can't deny that it doesn't happen within, the Nigerian Football or Nigerian Sporting Commission. Yeah. So how do we checkmate? How do we call for accountability?
Just like George said, we need to, be open with our books. When I say the books, some people say they want to balance books, but we don't see audits. Like, how much did we get from FIFA this year? Let me stick to football. How much did we get from CAF? How much did we get from FIFA? The sponsors. When you play a game in Uyo, you see the panels. You see, before we used to have Coke, but now we have ValueJet. We have we have so many brands, and all of that. Where is the money going to? But now, as of this year, they said they were going to be constructing a players' camp where we don't have to be going to different states in Nigeria to camp. We're going to be playing in Abuja, having a camp in Abuja. Very good. Just like the St. George's Park in England. That is what they're using the grant of FIFA to do this time around. But before, we barely know what they used to use the money to do. As long as the National Sport Commission can be very, very, involved in the activities of the NFF or any other sporting association, then we're good to go. But there's also another problem. FIFA or any world organization for sports, they will tell you that government interference leads to a ban. So imagine if the government, that's Tinubu or anybody, is probing the NFF, who might be getting banned. But in the right space, the NFF, the MBBF, any organization in Nigeria, they need to publish their books out every time. Clubs across Europe, they publish their books to the fans, and there are questions. But we need to be accountable. That's your thing. But even if the government also comes in to say, okay, we need your records, FIFA might be saying, you're going to get banned for bringing in government interference.
Hey, wahala. So how do we now keep them accountable? Because I was thinking, for me, I was even thinking, why do we have a Nigerian Football Federation? We have a National Sports Commission. We have the Ministry of Sport. Is it not like duplication of the same? Why do we have all of those things? Why can't we just have like a sports commission that just covers everybody, that liaises, then you have government representative in there and all of that, as opposed to having different bodies?
Well, at the moment, there is no ministry. There's no minister for sports.
Yeah.
So we're using National Sport Commission.
Yes.
And the DG. So basically now, what they do is, NFF is in charge of only football. You can't say the NSC should be overseeing everything at once. They work hand in hand with every federation. We have the MBBF for basketball.
Okay, so they have a federation for football,
yes.
They have a federation
Athletics,
for basketball,
everything.
for athletics. Oh, I see.
So those ones also report to the NSC.
To the National Sports Commission,
yes.
yeah.
Apart from the sponsor fees, the FIFA or the FIBA money they get in, NSC also has one.
So if a sponsor comes now, where would the sponsor pay the money to? Is it the NFF?
The NFF.
Or it will pay to the Sports Commission that now hands over to the NFF?
No, it's the NFF. They have a marketing unit, a business unit. Okay, they are the ones who go and pitch what they want to do.
No wonder some people were buying private jets and building houses in Ikoyi. It's all right. George, as we wrap up, please go ahead. I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the NFL. I mean, in sports today, lots of sponsors are going for football. So if they are going to invest in football, they go straight to the NFL. But I wanted to say, if the NFL don't want the government to, probe them and all of that, they should stop taking money from government. In other climes, yes, there are budgets for sports, but these monies are majorly sourced from private private bodies and not particularly public funds used. But although of course when you pay tax, you're also indirectly paying for the three lionesses to participate at the Euros and all of that. But we need to have more private sector involvement. But we all know what's stopping them. There's a lack of accountability. The Nigerian Premier Football League, or the Nigerian Premier League as it was known back then, had a title sponsor for a long time until they found out that there's lots of reckless, spending in the cash that they were giving them. And So our local league, well, now it's just cap in hand, begging sponsors. Sometimes it's abridged because there's not a lot of money. So we need that accountability. The NFF needs to be accountable to itself. And even as try, even if, just look for someone you're going to listen to. If you don't want to listen to government, listen to FIFA too. FIFA is not going to aid any lack of transparency because FIFA always says that. In fact, FIFA have said, I think from last year, they want to start administering these funds themselves. So you tell us that you want to do, we will administer it. Because that was a talking point when Gianni Infantino wanted to go for re-election. The question, how are you going to ensure transparency, in these FIFA grants that you're giving to different countries?
Yeah.
And the answer he gave, and I think I'm looking at this NFF. They don't look like their eyes are too big, but there's a lot of football money. That when you get there, just like when you get into government, people say, all politicians are thieves, even the pastors. But when they get into there, they might turn to be the thieves in quotes. So you might be good on the outside, but when you get into the NFF and find out that there's so much money coming in, the tendency for you to say, let me peel for a bit. But so far, from the reviews we're getting, and from the fact that they even made this happen, made the ladies get their money, I think this NFF are heading for the right path. Let's hope. Don't get into their heads. They have won a WAFCON now. They got to the final of, the AFCON last year in Cote d'Ivoire. We're going for another final again. There's a CHAN coming up next month. Let's hope that they keep their head down, focus more on sports, grassroots sports development, and that's where they should be channeling the money. And so that we don't have to pick, footballers and stars who were born and bred abroad to come and play with us. How about the ones that are locally, grown? We just have few of, we know Osimhen came from the streets here. We know Kelechi Iheanacho. But the core of our team now, Semi Ajayi, Ola Eno, William Trustekong, all of them, from outside. We're not saying they are less Nigerians. They are Nigerians. We're glad that, for us. But we should be able to have players who started from home here compete and stand tall globally. And we're looking forward to that. And that should transcend. For instance, you might not know, but Nigeria is a record winner of the Under-17 World Cup for men. We are the record winners, 5-time winners. But we cannot translate that to the senior national team. We have never won the World Cup. We've not even come close. I'm not sure we're going to close anytime soon, except it's going to be a miracle because there are lots of things involved. Kudos to, the new technical crew. Well, I will reserve my kudos though. I'm seeing the way they are moving, trying to make up for, failing to get the win against Zimbabwe in Uyo. But I see how they're working. I think they are more purposeful right now. But if we cannot beat Lesotho in Uyo and beat South Africa in September, then we're not going to the World Cup. And that's going to set us back again, another 4 years. And then I'll feel for the NFF. And that's where they need to start answering questions. But for now, I think they're on a roll, and I wish them all the best.
Thank you so much, George. And I'm hoping that you would be honored with an OON or MON very soon.
Let me tell them more.
Thank you so much for your time, George. So let me get your final thoughts on this. I mean, he just kind of like capped it up really nicely. And I think there's a big problem. There's a huge gap in storytelling. Because I just found out now that the Under-17, we've been winning it back to back. So maybe that's the match I should be watching.
So basically, we've actually not qualified for the Under-17 World Cup in some years now. We've been going to AFCON and not making it, but I think now we should be able to do something coming next year, definitely.
I like your positivity.
Yeah, because the last time we won was with the Osimhen set and Samuel Chukwueze in 2015. Ever since then, we've been having, maybe going and not doing anything good. But, our best legs are probably not playing for Under-17 now. Most of them are playing for academies in Nigeria, and then they are going abroad. So that's just one of the things.
Okay, so if you had one final thing to say, with or to the president, what would you say, this move has done? Has it given a lot of hope and encouragement to sports in Nigeria?
Well, for me, it has given a lot of hope to us, but we also need to focus on development of sport in Nigeria. That's the most important thing. Our football league, needs to be upgraded. Our sports centers, be it the stadiums for football or multi-purpose, if we can channel this amount of money in maintaining our stadiums, we're good to go. We can host AFCON. AFCON now has been hosted by Morocco in 2022.
Did you see that
2024, stadium? Yes.
Did you see that stadium? You say you can wait it?
What I'm saying is we can host as long as we channel the funds and maintenance.
Even George is laughing.
As long as there's money, we can do this, to be honest. We can.
George,
it's
please,
not far-fetched.
I just want to bring you back inside. What were you trying to say?
Yeah, no, you know, we have to go to Fabio Stadium. We can have more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, like the 4.4 billion given to these girls, like he said, Toyosi said, if you sink that in one stadium, revamp the stadium, you know, it's going to be a different ball game. But see, we are nowhere near Morocco.
Now I want to tell you, I bet. No, embarrass us.
Okay. What I'm saying is, as long as we have the desire to maintain our stadiums, then we are good to go.
Okay.
It's going to be a long time because those guys are very deliberate about facility development. And sports, they've been going hand in hand.
Yeah.
Look, they got none of this tournament. It's kudos to them. They are men semi-finals of the World Cup. So Morocco is really doing well. And Nigeria not in that class, really. I mean, we just need to ask our leaders.
We are far. Thank you so much, George. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. Thank you, Toyosi. Now, if you missed our quote, it says, your victory represents more than the sport accomplishment. It is a triumph of courage, determination, and discipline, and consistency. And this was a quote by our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't even have anything more to say. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Extension Africa battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.